Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you all are doing well. Students, in today's lesson we are going to discuss the addition and subtraction of linear algebraic expressions. In the previous lesson we have discussed what is a linear algebraic expression. An expression in which index of the variable is 1 is called linear algebraic expression. Okay. And we have also discussed that we have two types of terms. We have two types of terms in algebraic expressions. One, like terms, the other, unlike terms. The terms with the same variables are called like terms, and the terms with different variables are called unlike terms. Right? Okay. Students, now open your booklets at page number 23 and understand the topic with me. Students, when we discuss the addition and subtraction of linear algebraic expressions like fractions, we can only add the like terms or we can subtract the like terms. In algebra, we can add or subtract only like terms, the terms with same variables, right? Adding, subtracting two or more algebraic terms, add or subtract only the coefficients, keep the variable, right? What we will do, we will only add or subtract the like terms, the terms with the same variables, and we will only add or subtract the coefficient of the variable, and we will keep the variable, right? Okay, now let's try to solve a few examples. Okay, students, your first example is 2x plus 3x. Here you can see 2x and 3x both are the like terms because both have same variables, right? Same variable, that is x, right? Now what is the coefficient? In the previous lesson we have discussed what is a coefficient. The constant number written before the variable, this is called the coefficient. So what's the coefficient of 2x? It's 2. And the coefficient of 3x, it's 3. So what you will do, you will just add the coefficients, right? First identify your coefficients, then add them, write your coefficients in the bracket and keep your variable. You will write your variable only one time, right? Identify your coefficients, add the coefficients only and keep your variable, right? क्या करना है आपको? पहले आपको ये चेक करना है कि आपकी terms जो given हैं are these like terms or not. अगर ये like terms हैं with same variables हैं तो आप इनको add और subtract कर सकते हैं, otherwise आप इनको add और subtract नहीं कर सकते. Next आपको क्या करना है? Identify your coefficients, combine them in the bracket and keep your variable. So what is 2 plus 3? 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, and what's the variable? X. Don't forget to write your variable, right? This is your required answer. Or you can directly write 2x plus 3x is equal to 5x, right? Now let's move to the next example. Here you can see it's 2x plus minus 3x. Here we have two symbols and a bracket involved. So remember, as we have done in the integers, similarly in the algebra we will expand the bracket first. So 2x as it is, expand the bracket, and bracket means multiply. So you will multiply the positive and the negative sign. Plus minus minus 3x, right? Again, remind your integers rules. Yes, remind your integers rules. If you have two different signs, here you can see there is no sign with 2x, that means it's positive. And if you have two different signs, what you have to do? You have to subtract, and we cannot subtract 3 from 2, so we will subtract 2 from 3. 3 minus 2 is 1, right? And keep the sign of your greater number, and that is 3. So minus 1x, or you can simply write minus x, right? No need to write 1, right? It means same. Okay, now let's move to the next example. Here again you can see negative 2x plus 3x, negative 2x plus 3x. Again here you have two different signs. One is negative and one is positive. Again what you have to do? You have to subtract. So 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1, and keep the sign of your greater number, and your greater number is positive 1, and keep your variable, right? Keep your variable, or you can simply write it x, because plus 1x or x means same, right? Okay, the next example, that is negative 2x plus minus 3x. Again we will expand the bracket first. Negative 2x plus minus minus 3x. Bracket means multiply, and plus minus minus, right? You can directly solve, or you can follow this method. Combine your coefficients, right? Combine your coefficients, and your coefficients are negative 2 and negative 3, and keep your variable, right? Now what we will do, you can see here we have two same signs. Here we have two same signs, and two same signs, for two same signs we always add. So 2 plus 3 is 5, and keep the sign of your greater number, and your greater number is negative 3. So we will keep our negative sign and write your variable with your answer, right? Now let's solve the next example. Here again you can see 3x minus 2x. You can directly write 3 minus 2, 1, or you can again combine your coefficients. And what are the coefficients? 3 and 2. 3 and 2, right? So 3 minus 2, and keep your variable. 3 minus 2 is equal to 1x, and again you can write it as x only, because 1x or x means same, right? Okay, now let's move to the next example, that is 3x minus bracket minus 2x. Again what we will do, if there is a bracket involved, yes, we will expand the bracket first, and bracket means multiply. Bracket means multiply, and we will multiply these two negative signs. So minus and minus, plus 2x. Again you can directly write 3x plus 2x is equal to 5x, or you can add your coefficients separately. Keep the variable coefficients, add your coefficients, right? And 3 plus 2 is equal to 5, and write your variable in the answer, right? Okay, now let's move to the next example. It's negative 3x minus 2x. So again identify your coefficients, right? and your coefficients are negative 3 minus 2, right? Your coefficients are negative 3 minus 2, and what's your variable? X. Keep your variable, right? And again you can see here we have again two same signs, two negative signs. So what we have to do with two same signs? When we have two same signs, that means we have to add. And 3 plus 2 is equal to 5, and keep the sign of your greater number, that is negative 3. So we will keep our negative sign, and again we will write our variable with our answer, right? Understood? Okay. Now let's move to the next example, that is negative 3x minus bracket minus 2x. Now again you can see here we have a bracket involved, so we will write negative 3x as it is. First we will expand the bracket. Bracket means multiply. Bracket means multiply, and we will multiply these two negative signs, minus or minus, plus, right? And 2x. Again we have to identify our coefficients, right? And our coefficients are negative 3 plus 2. Combine your coefficients first, right? And keep your variable, right? Now you can see here we have two different signs. One is negative and one is positive. So for two different signs, what we will do? We will subtract. What we will do? We will subtract. So 3 minus 2 is 1, and keep the sign of your greater number. What is your greater number? 3. So its sign is negative, so our answer will be negative 1. And don't forget to write your variable, right? So it's negative 1x, or it can be written as negative x, right? When there is no coefficient with a variable, that means it's 1, right? Okay. Now the next example is little bit different, because in the examples we were solving above, these have only two terms. There were only two terms involved with the same variables. But in this example you can see we have 1, 2, 3 and 4 terms. We have 4 terms in this example, and the two terms have the same variable, right? X, and the two terms have no variable, and these two terms are called the constants. The terms without variables, these are called the constants. We have learnt in our first lesson of algebra that the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so on, all these are called the constants because they cannot change their values. To solve this example, what we have to do? First we have to identify our like terms. So the terms with the same variables are like terms, right? And the constant terms are also called the like terms, right? So first thing you have to do, you have to identify your like terms, and always use the arrows, so it will make the chance of mistake lesser, right? Okay, now what we have to do? First we have identified our like terms. Now next what we will do? We will combine. We will combine these like terms, and our first pair of like terms are x and 2x. We will write x as it is. As you can see, the sign of 2x is positive, so when we will combine this 2x with this x, we will write its sign 2, right? It's positive 2x, it's plus 2x, so you will write plus 2x here. Now we have to combine these constant terms. You can see what's the sign of 1? It's negative, so you will write negative sign with this. And then what's the sign of 3? It's negative, so you will write negative sign with 3, right? आपको क्या करना है? सबसे पहले आपने आइडेंटिफाई करना है आपकी लाइक टर्म्स को. सबसे पहले आपने आइडेंटिफाई करना है अपनी लाइक टर्म्स को, और एरोस के साथ आपने इसको मैच करना है, ठीक है? The terms with the same variables are called like terms and the constant terms are also called like terms. देन उसके बाद आपने क्या करना है, अपनी लाइक टर्म्स को कंबाइन करना है और उनको कंबाइन आप ऐसे करोगे जो टर्म के सिंबल के साथ आप उसको शिफ्ट करोगे. ठीक है, जो भी आपकी टर्म का साइन होगा वो साइन आप उसके साथ कॉपी करेंगे. x प्लस 2x माइनस 1 माइनस 3. आप किसी भी टर्म का साइन चेंज नहीं कर सकते. नाउ वी हैव डन अबव and we have discussed that when there is no coefficient with a variable, जब आपके इस coefficient के साथ वेरिएबल के साथ कोई coefficient नहीं है, that means it's 1. ये 1 है. ठीक है, so what we will do now, 1 प्लस 2. अब आपने 1x और 2x को प्लस करना है, तो मैंने ऊपर आपको एग्जाम्पल में एक्सप्लेन किया है कि आप क्या करोगे, आप इसके कोफिशेंट्स को ऐड करोगे. 1 प्लस 2 3 and keep your variable, right? Now we have to solve negative 1 and negative 3. Again you can see there is two same signs, and when we have two same signs, what we have to do, add. We have two same signs, so we have to add. 1 plus 3 is 4 and keep the sign of your greater number, and your greater number is 3. Its sign is negative, so you will write a negative sign here. Right? So what's your answer? 3x minus 4. Remember, when there is more than two terms involved, what you have to do first, identify your like terms, match them with the arrows, combine your like terms with their signs, add or subtract. Right? Okay. Now let's move to the next example. Our next example is negative 3x plus y minus bracket negative x plus bracket negative 4y. Here you can see we have two brackets here. So again, what we have to do first, by the rules, we have to expand the brackets first. So we will write negative 3x plus y as it is. Expand the bracket. Bracket means multiply. Minus and minus plus x. Again, bracket means multiply, plus minus minus 4y. Now as we have done in our previous example, what we have to do, again we have to identify our like terms, the terms with the same variable. Here you can see negative 3x and x both have same variable, so these are called the like terms, and y and 4y, these two are the like terms, right? So what we will do now, negative, we will combine our like terms with their signs, negative 3x plus x plus y and minus 4y. I have copied the like terms with their signs, right? Now you can see we have to add or subtract now. The coefficient of the variable x is negative 3 and the coefficient of this variable x is 1. Now 1 is negative and 1 is positive. You have two different signs. For different signs आपको क्या करना होता है? Minus. So 3 minus 1 is 2 and keep the sign of your greater number, that is negative, and keep your variable, right? Similarly, there is no coefficient with the variable y, so that means it's 1, right? And the coefficient of this variable y is negative 4. Again you can see here you have two different signs, positive and negative, and with two different signs you have to subtract. So 4 minus 1 is 3. Keep your variable and keep the sign of your greater number. 4 was greater and its sign is negative. So it's your answer, negative 2x minus 3y, right? Okay, now let's solve two examples, one addition and one subtraction with fractional coefficients, right? Now you have fractions in your coefficients. Now the coefficient of this variable x is 1 over 2 and the coefficient of this variable x is 1 over 4. The first thing we have to check that do we have like terms? So yes, we have like terms here because both have same variables, right? Okay, now what we will do, In fractions, we have learned that we cannot add two unlike fractions. Here the denominator of first fraction is 2 and the denominator of the second fraction is 4, right? These two have different denominators, that means they are unlike fractions. So we cannot add two unlike fractions to make these fractions like fractions. What we have to do first, we have to take the LCM of the denominators, and our denominators are 2 and 4, and you know we always do the prime factorization here, and we always start division with our smallest prime number, that is 2 if it's possible. Otherwise you can choose your next prime number. 2 and 4 are divisible by 2. So 2 ones are 2 and 2 twos are 4. Again we will divide 2 1 as it is, and 2 ones are 2. So we will now multiply our these two prime factors to get our LCM. So it's 2 twos are 4. So our LCM is 4. So we will make the denominator 4 here, right? Our second denominator is already 4. We need to multiply our first fraction with 2, right? And always multiply the numerator and the denominator with same numbers. 2 twos are 4. So we will multiply the numerator and the denominator with 2 plus 1 over 4x, right? So 2 ones are 2 and 2 twos are 4x plus 1 over 4x, right? Now we can add these fractions. And you all know we always write the denominator one time, and we will add the numerators, and we will keep our variable, right? Now 2 plus 1 is equal to 3 over 4x. This is your answer, right? The last example, again it's a subtraction example, and again you have two unlike fractions. To make them like, what you have to do, first you have to take the LCM of the denominators 3 and 5. You can see both are the prime numbers. So first we will divide with 3. 3 ones are 3, 5 as it is, then 1 as it is, and 5 ones are 5. So what will be the LCM? 3 5s are 15, right? 3 5s are 15. So we will multiply our first fraction with 5 and our second fraction with 3. So 4 5s are 20 over 5 3s are 15y minus 2 3s are 6 over 5 3s are 15y. Now write your denominator one time, combine your numerators, keep your variable. 20 minus 6 is 14 over 15y. Hope you have understood the procedure, and now you can solve the sums given on page number 24, 25 and 26 of your booklets. If you face any difficulty, you can contact me. Thank you. Take care. Allah Hafiz.